Hello. In this explanatory video, I'm going to be talking to you about the Year 11 trial exam preparation and academic support that is provided at Gravesend Grammar School. We're going to go through these 5 points. This is a video for students as well as parents, so that everybody knows what's going on. So number 1, I'm going to be looking at the provision of support and revision resources. Then we're going to look at the independent learning site, which is a goldmine of information and resources for students to use. Then we're going to look at some revision techniques. Then we're going to move on to creating a revision timetable. And then finally, we're going to look at those all important dates of your trial exams. So the provision of support and revision resources here at Gravesend Grammar School is vast. First of all, there's a very comprehensive independent learning area, which I will take you on a walk through in a moment. And this has got a myriad of resources, modelled exam papers, question papers, activities, knowledge organisers. It also has a variety of different exam-specific information and activities that students can do for all of their subjects. Also, some subjects are now producing video tutorials of certain topics and skills, which some students find very challenging. Number 3, Google Classrooms and Google Sites. These are both things that the students have become incredibly au fait with over the past year with the distance learning. It's a great place for teachers to be able to post activities, to be able to post resources, and for students to be able to complete small activities, and also to communicate with their teachers. Google Meets have been used by some teachers as almost like a drop-in activity. So students, if they have a specific question about something, they can join a Google Meet and they can get that instantaneous feedback, either on a one-to-one or a small group basis. And also, number 5, we do have some lunchtime support classes. Now, obviously, these are quite limited due to the fact that students need to remain within their bubbles, and we need to make sure that the safety of students is paramount. But there are still some lunchtime support classes happening at the moment in order to be able to allow students to ask questions, to get feedback, and to get some instruction in slightly smaller groups. Okay, so on that first point, the independent learning area, I'm just going to talk through what that is and how to use it. I'm sure that you, as a student, you'll be very familiar with this and the setup, but as a parent, I'll talk you through this as well. So if you go to the home page when the student logs into the cloud, you'll see the screen on the top left-hand corner. So you've got all of the icons along the top, and then along the left-hand side, there's a vast array of links. Now, one of those you can see there in the yellow is independent learning. When you do click that, you then get this, which is actually the tab on the video for this on our site. You can see all of our different subjects that we offer here at Gravesend Grammar School, and behind those the resources sit. So as you can see down here, move on to the next stage. If you hover over one of the subjects, you'll be able to select those, and then you get into the resources. So let me just show you that in reality. So if you are a student, I'm doing this on my account, but a student is almost the same. It's definitely the same on the left-hand side. So if we go to the independent learning tab on the left-hand side and we click on that, we can see here that we've got all of these different subjects. Okay, now obviously some of them you'll notice are ones that we don't study at GCSE. So for example, ancient history isn't something that's offered until the A-level course. But if we look through here, we've got lots and lots of different subjects. So for example, if maths is a subject that you're looking to revise on a certain day, you can hover over this and you can go down to the Year 11 tab, go across to the GCSE because that's the qualification that you'll be taking in the summer, and you click on that. What that does is that links you to a Google Drive, and what all of the teachers have done at Gravesend Grammar School is they have produced or collated exam-specific and subject-specific resources so that students are revising in the most effective manner, and to make sure that the content that they're revising is the correct content for each of the exams. Okay, for example, if we look here, we've got modelled exam papers, and this exam paper takes you through, and a teacher has gone through and has actually annotated the exam paper to show how they would approach each of these individual questions. Now, there are these for all of the different subjects. Okay, so you can go through and you can start to look at, you know, if you find one question quite challenging, this is how a teacher would do it. There's a vast array of different things that you can do here. For example, if you're someone who wants to start to organise what it is that they need to study overall to get an overview of those. For example, there's a higher checklist here. So from a maths point of view, you can look here, and obviously they've got them based on which grade they pertain to, and you can start up at grade 9 and go down, so on and so forth. And so with these, you can obviously highlight it, and you can say whether you're confident with that or whether you're not confident with that. There's a whole range of different things that you can do for each of the different subjects. Okay, so that is the independent learning side, and there's been a lot of work done by the teachers there to create these resources, and there's an absolute wealth of information there for the students to use. So please use that. Okay, number 3, revision techniques. On our site that we've produced, that you may well be watching this video on, we are going to be uploading, and already have done in some respects, some specific revision techniques. And we've found that over the time, we've managed to create a set of revision techniques that has been incredibly effective for students, rather than just spending quite a lot of time, but maybe just reading a book, or maybe just highlighting certain sections of it. We've got some very, very specific techniques that have been tried and tested, and academic research has gone into that. So there's some of that revision techniques actually on your on the site, in the Year 11 trial exam site. Moving on, creating a revision timetable. All of these documents are all in one area. They're all going to be on that site, so you'll be able to download them, print them off, or you can use them as an electronic copy, and then you can just edit them and make them your own. This is something that we've created in Key Stage 4. So we've got Gravesend Grammar School Year 11 GCSE revision timetable, week starting. So what we can see here is that for each of the weeks of your revision, you can create a new one, print out a new one. I would put it up on the fridge so that it's always there. It's very visual. There's a reminder of what it is that you want to do. Now, we would recommend about 2 hours per evening of revision. And what I've done here is that I've split that Monday into 4 different sections. Now, you might want to do 4 subjects on one evening. You might want to do half an hour on one subject, then the next, then the next, then the next. Conversely, you may well want to just do 2 subjects. So the bottom 2 may actually just be left empty. You may want to do an hour of English, and you may want to do an hour of French on Monday, for example. What I think is really important as well is that not only the subject is in these boxes, but also then the topic or the skill area that you're going to do. Because I think that preparation and that pre-planning really helps your focus, so that you can be able to start to tick off the different topics and the different skills that you're now going to be confident with. And remember, this revision timetable isn't just for leading up to the trial exams, but actually this is going to be for after the trial exams, looking towards your GCSEs in the summer as well. Moving on to the document on the right-hand side, we have the Year 11 GCSE revision subject summary. This is a holistic overview of everything that you've been studying. So on the left-hand side, you've got the subject. So you can type that in or you can write that in. The reason that it's blank at the moment is because obviously you have different option choices per student. The second column, we've got a column that says hours spent, ticks. What that is, that's for you to make a record of how many hours or sessions, half an hour sessions, however you want to structure it, how many you've spent on that subject. Okay, so the reason for that is because you need to make sure that you've got a balanced approach towards your revision. So you don't want to be spending potentially 10 hours over a 2-week period on one subject and then only 2 hours on another subject. We need to have that balance, okay? And actually, it would be very interesting after the trial exam period to go back to these and to assess, okay, maybe I didn't quite achieve what I was expecting in that subject, and look back and think, oh, actually, that's because I did less revision in that subject. And you may well have done exceptionally well in another subject, and you can look back and think, oh, actually, I was revising quite a lot for that subject, and I did a good coverage of all of the topics, and as a result, I've actually achieved really, really well. So we can use both those successes and some things that maybe don't go quite as well in order to move forward for our GCSEs. Now, on the right-hand side, I've then got topics that are challenging and topics that I'm confident with. With the topics that are challenging, what I'd like you to put in here is any topics that when you're revising, you're really, really still struggling with, and you think, I don't quite understand that still. And those are the topics that you can then go to teachers with, and you can say, it's the only way that you could explain this to me, or maybe there's another way that you could research that topic. And then the ones that you're confident with, obviously, that's the converse of that. So maybe it's a topic that you are really confident with and you've gone over it another time and you've done a few little tests and actually you're really confident with that topic. Important dates. Now, I always find it incredibly useful to work back from a target date, be that an exam date, be that a race, whatever it is that you've got. And once you know where it is that you need to get to and when that is, working backwards is incredibly important. And it makes your process of planning a lot easier. So what we've got here is we've got your timetable that Mr. Deemer has already sent out to you, and you should have received that letter on the left-hand side. But we'll also post that up on the site as well, just in case you can't find that. On the right-hand side, you can see which day these exams are taking place, the date, also the time that you're going to be called up for that exam, and the time that exam actually starts. The call-up time is just when we get you together in a socially distanced, sensible manner, and we make sure that everyone's in the correct order, and then you'll go in to your exam, and it will actually start at 8:50. Okay, so you'll be able to see, English literature is first up on Tuesday, the 5th of January, and that's an hour and 45. Okay, so those are slightly longer than you will have done so before. And as a result, it may well be useful during your revision time to actually see if you can do one of those past papers, for example, over that period of time, to make sure that you're able to focus for that extended period of time to be able to produce the work. So, just to recap, we've looked at the provision that's there, and all of that provision is there. If you do have a specific question about a subject or a topic within a subject, the first port of call will be your subject teacher, okay? Because they are the professional that is in that position and they're best placed to support you. If it's something that's more generic, then you can obviously contact myself or Mr. Deemer or Mr. Burton in the Key Stage 4 team. Number two, that independent learning site, you can rewatch my way of going through that, my little walkthrough that will be able to help you. Number three, those revision techniques, as I say, they will be updated. We'll be adding those throughout the year so that we don't just overload you at the moment, just to try and help you with effective ways of revising. Number four, create a revision timetable. I went through that in detail. Making that prominent in your house or in your room, wherever that is really, really important, I think, so that you've got that goal to aim for. And there's always that kind of reminder that that's what you need to be doing, but also the work that you've already done, and you should be really proud of that. And then those important dates, just making sure you know exactly when each exam is. We want you also to make sure that during all of your revision, you're obviously maintaining a balanced life. So, making sure that you're still doing any activities that you would do outside of school, and making sure that you're taking time to spend time with family. You will find all of this on our Google site, which we will send out a link to you. So all of the documents will be there. This video will be there if you need to go back and look at that again. But as I say, anything specific about subjects, talk to your subject teacher. If not, any of us in the Key Stage 4 team. Thank you very much for your time.